Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is Drew in Arts, and today we're going to be mixing random chemicals together.
Drew in Arts. Is anyone else kind of scared?
So a little fun fact about me. I'm not only just a crazy clown artist, I'm also a ceramicist, and my day job is being a ceramic technician. And one of the things that I had to do recently was clean out a bunch of empty glaze bottles, which you might ask yourself, what is a glaze? Well, maybe you'll figure that out by the end of the video. Mainly, this video is a reminder to do the things you don't want to do and do them with me.
Heyo, Drew from the future here. I realized in this introduction that I never really clarified what I was actually doing. I kind of just yapped on for many minutes like I'm doing now. But anyways, basically I got a bunch of glaze bottles from work that were half empty and were basically going to be thrown away. But of course, I can't allow beautiful chemical concoctions to be thrown away. So I took all of the bottles from work, and this video is me combining them all together into basically super glazes and super goo. You'll see it as the video goes on, but yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So if you have something that you've been dreading trying to sort or put together, today's the day where you can put me on in the background, and let's do it together. Now the first thing you have to do when sorting anything is getting a better camera angle. The first thing I like to do when sorting anything is level the playing field, right? We have so much stuff, whether that's, makeup or books or I'm just ripping the bag they're in. Anything like that, that leveling your playing field and getting everything half organized then makes it easier to completely organize.
In this clip, I'm going through and looking at all of the colors and organizing them by color. The brand doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's all going into one goop soup. So it's purely just trying to end up with something that might look good in the end. So I'm putting blues with blues, greens with greens, pretty much all of the different colors into smaller categories to then redistribute later. If anyone was wondering how many bottles this whole experiment ends up being, I counted around 47, but don't quote me, I'm not a math major.
So a little recap on what we have going on. This section over here is blue and green. Oh, and say hi to the shit I had to take off the table. This section is like black, gray, white, tan, some sort of mid-range of bleh. And then over here is our fun little red-orange section. And then last but certainly not least is gold, because I guess it goes over here, but she's kind of fancy. And then we have I broke the jar. So this is the setup of what's going on. So from here, now I'm going to basically get them into tighter groups, so then I can organize and mix those little groups together. As they say in Tomodachi life, a change of scenery is always nice. Now we're up close and personal to get into all the goods. We have a couple of different brands here. Amaco, the Mac Daddy, if you will. And we have Coyote, look at us, and we have Mayco. Those are the main brands we are mixing together today. There is a couple of outliers here and there of different glaze companies, but for the most part, we'll be sticking to those three. You may ask yourself, can you mix glazes between the different companies? And yes, you can. There is no problem with layering the different colors together. Obviously, in our case, we're going to be making pots of new colors. Now, I'm going to spend some time thinking about what would be nice to mix together. Now, glazes are a mix of minerals and water, and essentially, all of the minerals ever can be put into a glaze. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to go with it. And when we do that, basically the chemistry might change. So you might think, oh, you're mixing these two oranges together, it must make an orange. Well, with glaze chemistry, it might just turn out brown. It might just turn out black, and maybe when these two mix together, the minerals or chemical components inside of them make them blue. So a lot of this is just random fun and guessing, and lots of ASMR of me scraping out the bottom of bottles. But basically, there is no rules. If there was rules, I'm breaking all of them. Some of them, like this Laguna glaze, don't have a picture, so pink ice is all I have to go off of. Technically, you can Google these, but you think I'm going to do that? One of the easy things that I can do just right off the bat is combine a bunch of the browns. We've got Aventurine, Tiger's Eye, Ancient Jasper, Temmoku, Textured Amber to Brown, and Black Aventurine. I'm going to go ahead and take a leap and start mixing these together because they are the first easy choice. Okay, our tools of choice are spatula, 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 and spoon. So what I'm going to do in my little brain is I'm going to pick a glaze that I want all of the other glazes to go into. Honestly, I kind of like the lower profile of the Mayco glazes better. And as you can see, so I'm going to, the victim for today is Tiger's Eye. I mean, the new candidate is Tiger's Eye. And I am going to have this be the base. Make sure I'm on camera. I am scooping all of the goo down. Now, a lot of these, when they dry out, they just need to be rehydrated. So the only thing we're really missing is just shite ton of water. And honestly, just getting it back into the jar. Now, you could not mix these and just rehydrate this little bit, but what's the fun in that? There's no fun in that. So next we have Ancient Jasper, and I'm probably going to have to speed this up, so enter the time lapse. If I can open the jar. Mother effer. Okay, not Ancient Jasper. Not Ancient Jasper. Okay, not that one either. Okay, who's next? Who's next in line? All right, I'm going to have to go run these under some water. Be right back.
Here you can see I am scraping out a bunch of different brown bottles together. Some are much more runny, some are hard rocks. Together they will be rehydrated into the ultimate brown goo. The different consistencies will eventually be a problem for me, but for now we're just gonna keep on trucking through it.
I wanted to do a halfway point check and show you that sometimes to clean a mess, you have to make a mess. As you can see, I'm starting to look like I'm on my period or I killed someone, but I wanted to let you guys see if you could see that. There is a lot of very beautiful marbling happening inside of this. Obviously, that's going to go away when I mix all of these things back together and reconstitute them into one, but it is quite beautiful. I wish I could put that on the side of a piece. So this is about, I've got just a little bit more left in this one to put in here, but this is about, you can see how little maybe was in each jar, very little. And when you've combined them together, look at that, we've almost got a full jar. So again, the last one to add into this one is this little bit of very chunked up Aventurine in here. And then I will show you guys me mixing it all together. All right, I have killed the last little bit of Aventurine. I have thusly killed 6 bottles, if we include the original. And now I'm going to mix it all back together. So what you want in a glaze consistency is up to you. Ultimately, one of these bottles added a bunch of much needed moisture into this. So I am not doing too bad on the texture. I'm sure one of these other batches will be a bit chunkier and I'll have to add actual water. After adding a little bit of water from my Colorado Rockies take-home beer cup, I have created a pretty nice consistency. There is still some chunks in there. I unfortunately didn't end up taking a whisk, or if you had a coffee frother, assuming that you're obviously going to do what I'm doing, that would be something electronic, would be a lot easier to mix this up and reconstitute the chunks back together as my voice dies. I'm not so worried about it though. I'm going to take my sponge, wipe the lip off, wipe the lid off, put them back together, and go on to a different color. I had to change the camera angle a bit up on you guys just because I'm using glaze bottles to hold the camera up. So I've come up with another set of concoctions. We'll see how full the jar gets. We might have to cut off some of our ideas. I'm going to take this one here, Rainforest by Mayco, which is not food safe, I guess. And I'm going to be using Santa Patina, this Boogeyman from Midnight Ceramics that is quite crusty. Gonna throw in some Monstera, which this has very, very little in it, from Laguna. I've got 2 bottles of varying degree of love of Wasabi from Amaco. This June Bug, which is literally crumbs. Oh, and this is from Amaco. And Matcha Gloss from Amaco. So again, it's a bunch of greens that I will be combining together to make the goo. Quick little vibe check. This is what we're dealing with. And as you can see, this thing is as hard as a rock. So this one is probably gonna have to get, just because, let me explain. So this guy was super, super crusty, basically just chunks. And I got a giant chunk of just hard glazed out of this into here. Thusly, this one is going to need a crap ton of water to ever be any sort of consistency. Right now, this just kind of looks like wasabi, both the food and the glaze. So with that, I'm going to spend some time gooing it up. All right. I've got another combo. I know you want to just keep seeing me mixing things. I'm going to put everything into this pink ice jar because it's already ambiguous enough with no view. And now we're going to be making some orangey pinky thing. I've got Poppy from Amaco. Tangelo? I had to look at that twice. From Amaco. We've got Cherry Blossom with very little left. There might not be anything in here at all, but Cherry Blossom from Amaco. We've got 2 bottles of variousness of Coyote Glaze Fairy Rose. And last but not least, from Midnight Ceramics Malibu Barbara. So yeah, we're going to be making a nice little guy of pink descent. Halfway point check. we are looking very, very gooey. This is not the consistency in which you want any glaze to be, but don't worry, we're adding just as goopy goop to the goop to make goop soup. Unfortunately, or not so fortunately, with how much is in our good goop troop here, I am not going to be adding in the poppy I mentioned from earlier, just because we are up to our gills in the goo. I am going to spend some time mixing her up and creating the ultimate pink. That's the hope anyway. I did just add a crap ton of orange, so, we'll see what happens. Our next category of fun is blue. So I have the starting glaze, which is Mayco Stoned Denim, which is very beautiful on its own, but thusly we're here to make it fun. I don't know how many of these will fit, so we'll just have to call it as it is. But our many contenders are Cenote from Mayco, which has fun little brown speckles in it, Cobalt from Amaco, Blue Stone from Amaco, a different Rainforest from Amaco, Celadon Bloom, which will be interesting to see how many crystals have survived, from Mayco, and Desert Sage, which feels pretty full, so this one might not make it, but this is from Coyote. So, yeah, let's get to mixing. I forgot to mention Floating Blue from this brand called Penguin Pottery Supplies, which is a crust city, so that'll be fun. All right, vibe check. There is a lot of crusty, dusty sort of glazes in here that will definitely take a while to remember what it's like not to be a chunk of hard goo. It's really funny to think, too, that all of this is blue. Meanwhile, it looks like a pinkish tan color. Just goes to show that chemistry is a beast of its own. And, we'll see what this lovely gloop troop turns into. A lot of this, we'll figure it out. I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. And, yeah, we have our blue goo. So these aren't too exciting because it's white, but we'll have a little bit of fun with it. I'm starting with Mayco's Macadamia, adding one of my favorites coming up here, but we have Mayco Winterwood, my personal favorite, Mayco Blue Splatterware. We have White Matte, which has seen better days, for sure. We have Storm Gray, just because I'm interested to see how this will darken the color. And the most boring one of them all, Clear, which will clearly do something. So again, we'll get into it. Here is the very plain looking results of the white/gray category. Unfortunately, the winter wood that I was trying to add was dry to the bone, so there was no winter wood added. And a last minute addition is this Mayco stoneware called Gray Opal. Which, you know, it looks gray. This one had a lot of goopy glazes that weren't too dry added to it, so it's actually a pretty decent consistency. I still gotta add water, but it's not as bad as some of our other categories, so yeah. It's now several hours later, and we still have a couple boys to mess with, but yeah. We're kicking through it. Dark Flux. Stoned Denim. Light Sepia. Smoke. Enchanted Forest. Saturated Gold. Alright, this is the done mixing, some fell in my lap, done mixing half point. Nice and crunky. Dark Flux is definitely going to do something interesting to this glaze, because a flux is basically programmed to push things, fluctuate a glaze. So I'm not sure with how much I added of this, if this glaze will be too particularly stable. It might just be one you put on the rim of your pieces, but you know, that's for future. I just spilled so much water everywhere. That's for future me to figure out and clean up. So on to the next one. Okay, folks and folkettes, we're here again with another combination. Oh. Well, one just hit the floor. Yummy. We've got Something Matte. We've got Sexy Mermaid. We've got Light Jade. We've got Green Matte from Coyote. And we've got Amber Gloss. Best way I can describe the consistency of this one is marshmallow meets whipped cream meets Dear Lord Save Me. We're getting down to the end here. Shout out to time and things moving forward. We just have a couple of blue bottles to combine left. And then, yeah, that is it. We can look at all the stats, look at all the good stuff, but until then, I'm gonna waterboard this. I said, fellas, it's so good to know ya! Alright, we've got a blue section. We've got Ritual Glaze, Bead Blue. We've got Spiderwort. We've got Pam's Blue, Lavender, and Sky. This did not fill up as much as I wanted it to, and it looks really, really pretty, but there's just a layer of water or watery glaze sitting on top of the real chunky stuff. But yeah, this is our second to last one. Just one more to go. Okay, last but certainly not least, hopefully, dear God, save my soul, rest ye merry gentlemen, we have Fire Engine Red, Poppy from earlier, we have Speckled Plum, and lots of Cinnabar. Here is the results of the red. I'm going to name this one Cinnabar and Friends because it's pretty much just Cinnabar and a random assortment of other pinky, orangey, reddy thingies. It was looking pretty good until I added the last Cinnabar, which was mostly crust at the bottom. The looks are very deceiving, as this is, I promise you, a chunky, funky monkey. But nonetheless, if I've done the calculations correct, besides matcha gloss, which is a pain in a bottle I can't open, I have done every single glaze that I got. Alright, to recap everything that has happened, here is our 8 bottles of mixtures, concoctions, potions, and otherwise concerning amount of chemicals. We've got 2 things of green. We have a blue, a brown, pink, dark red, gray, and white. And again, these color labels are completely guesses. I have no idea what they're going to look like until I test them in a later video. Don't mind the things in the background. These are the forgotten few. We've got Pam's Blue, what is that one called? Birch, Frosted Melon, and Mixing Clear. Yeah, I kind of forgot about them, and or they didn't fit really into a specific jar. They got left behind. But
before I end the video, I wanted to give a little recap on all of our bottles. Basically, I let them sit for a week after adding a bunch of water to everyone, and these next couple of clips are just what they look like after a week. I will be continuing to monitoring them and adding more water to them and mixing them and probably cracking out an immersion blender because some of these guys are thick. But yeah, the next couple of clips are showing the difference after about a week.
Okay, right. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're starting to break it up a little bit. We're stabbing it. Oh, okay, look at that. That is some good shit. White is the only one that's like fucking normal. Look at that. All the rest of them, that's pretty good. I'm actually impressed by that one. It's still funky. It's not as bad. Meow. See what she's at. Oh my god. That's a dream. Look at that. That is, god damn, that is sexy. Holy shit. Alright, brown is sexy too. Ta-da. Alright, let's get in there. Oh, okay. This is interesting. I'm surprised. There's a bunch of rock at the bottom. Yeah. Can you see my rock? My chunk? Yeah. Smash her.
Well, if you made it this far in the video, congratulations. Comment down below what you did in the meantime while this was playing in the background. I'd love to know. And again, the next video, well, not necessarily the next video, but eventually I will make a video showing all of the actual fired ceramic results of these glazes. So do stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, and, I'll see you in the next one.
Anyways, that is the end of the video per se. Look out on my channel for the video of me testing all of these and actually rehydrating them to a good enough standard to actually use. But for now, this was Drew and Arts, and I hope to see you in the next one.